I always wanted to be the bad guy. I always wanted to be the villain.
You'd make a great villain because you have that kind of strange look about you, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's why they should make you a wolf. Are we on?
We are indeed, and we are here with Keahu Kahuanui.
You know, how long did it take you to remember how to pronounce that name?
I practiced.
I've got it written down here, and even looking at it takes me a little while. Keahu, let me ask you, what kind of name is it? Where is it from?
it's Hawaiian, and it was actually, it's handed down to me from my dad. Actually, my grandfather.
Well, I assume it wasn't from strangers.
It was shortened when I.
Well, what did it used to be? Because I think our millions of viewers would love to know.
Yeah, okay, so the original.
Before you made it so simple.
Yeah, exactly. Keahu is the shortened version of Keahu Pu'ihale. And it's
An everyday common name.
Just average Joe.
Well, Teen Wolf is such a cool show. It's wildly popular.
You mean we're going to talk about other things than his
Besides
name?
the name?
My gosh, oh wow,
just an
that's
idea.
great, all right.
My character has some interesting background in computers and hacking.
Well, why do you think Teen Wolf has gotten such cult status? Because it's not just popular. People go crazy over it.
It's. I mean, we were all kind of taken by surprise, but I mean, the writing is phenomenal.
That helps.
As Stanley would say.
Yes.
A lot of what we do, I feel, is on sort of the edgier side. We push a lot of boundaries between having humor, sarcasm, and then romance. It has a lot to offer, I feel, and then not to mention the production quality is really amazing. On top of like a great cast, we have a lot of fun together, and I feel like when the chemistry is good between the cast, you really, you can. You sense that when you're watching the show.
I also read that you that they wrote in a lot of the computer stuff because of you, because you consider yourself a geek.
Yeah, yes. I try not to advertise that too much, but
being a geek is cool.
it is.
Oh,
cool.
being a geek is great now.
Now
it's
cool.
Yeah.
Now it's cool. Before it wasn't cool. And actually, I found my geekdom at Comic-Con. But the Comic-Con that I went to was the Comic-Con for Episode 4, Fans New Hope. And that was my first Comic-Con, and I didn't know that until I saw.
Well, it's pretty good to be the star of your first Comic-Con, isn't it? But I understand that you're not too bad on your show.
No, I mean.
You have a fan or two.
I do. It's Twitter, and the online community. I mean, they've been really great, and I've tried to stay in contact with everyone on Twitter. That's my name, Keahu Kahuanui. But the fan base has been amazing.
I know, yeah.
And the interaction, I mean, nowadays it's amazing how accessible we are as actors. I'm really into the fantasy, sci-fi, horror, being alien, anything like that. I mean, I'm a big fan.
Sure.
When you guys said
And your
Nathan
luck,
Fillion,
they make
I
you
was
a
like,
geek.
What's that?
Your luck, they make you a geek. I mean, that's not fair.
Well, what sort of fantasy and sci-fi are you into?
Okay, well, fantasy sci-fi, I mean, pretty much anything with star. I mean, anything that has star or starts with star, it's an easy sell. But I grew up on a lot of Star Trek, a lot of comic books. I have to say, Stan, a lot of, growing up and having had Marvel in my life, and a lot of these superheroes, even looking up to the villains, it definitely influenced who I became as a person.
It took so long to get him to say it. We were sitting here circling around it. I thought you'd never get around it.
No, well, we got to talk about Silver Surfer, because I know you particularly like Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
I like the Silver Surfer.
I remember growing up, you know, when you're watching these things, or when you're in the comics, and you're telling you and your friends are like, I'm that one, you're that one, I'm this one. And I always wanted to be the bad guy. I always wanted to be the villain.
You'd make a great villain because you have that kind of strange look about you, you know.
Really? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well,
that's why they should make you a wolf.
Not all the wolves are bad.
Yeah.
So
a good wolf. Huh?
well, the teen wolf is good.
Yeah.
But the
That's called going against type in our profession. It's
well,
called going
that's
against type.
but that's what I love. I think that's what I love so much, especially about the Silver Surfer, is that he was this bad guy that was not really a bad guy.
Well, he was never really a bad guy. What he was doing was finding planets for Galactus to totally destroy. But he wasn't a bad guy. That was just his day job.
Well, he was coerced into being a bad
that's
guy.
right, of course.
And those redeeming stories are what I admired the most, and that's why I always attached myself to the villain, because I'm like, there's got to be a perfectly good reason why these guys are so bad.
And how about Galactus? He may have destroyed the planets, but hey, he was hungry.
He was hungry.
Right?
He
I
has-
mean, man has to
everyone
eat.
has to sustain
That's
themselves.
right.
So
I like this guy. He's logical. And speaking of changing people's lives, what will you do after Teen Wolf? Not that it may never end, of course. This may never be a problem, but if it does.
I mean, it's really hard to say because season 3 will start sometime this fall, at least shooting, and we are shooting 24 episodes.
Where do you film this?
We film in Atlanta.
I am available for a cameo. if you'd
Okay.
like.
So that's really what this interview is about.
All about that.
Okay.
But only if I can be a wolf. It must be such fun being a wolf. But it doesn't matter, whatever you say. See, that's why I'm so nice to you. I'm thinking of that distant cameo.
I like this idea.
Noted.
On that note, we are wrapping up. So cheers, gentlemen.
Oh, hey, great seeing you.
you so
Thanks
much
for
for having
coming. And I'm not so sure I'm thanking you for upstaging me, but we'll see. We'll talk later on.
I'll sit under the table.
And
for the
remember,
next
that
show.
offer of the cameo still goes.
I will.
Hey, I forgot to say, Excelsior!